Hello, I'm here to explain our group project for BE1500. So what we are doing is we are evaluating Detroit crime data from 2011 to 2014. The data has, I believe, over 2 million data points in it. And so what we did, starting out, is we decided to analyze like the time of year, month, and precinct that have the highest crime rates. And so what we are doing here, this is our main code that the user will use. So first we're having it import the data, assign it a variable. We're using a while case. We're using a while case to keep the code running, so you don't have to run it every time it runs a menu, and the menu will keep displaying until you hit exit. But going into the code, first we have our monthly crime rates. We're all importing data like this. We're using data manipulation categoricals to rearrange it, assign variables, and graph it. So for here, for the monthly crime, when you hit the monthly crime in the main menu, you're going to get another menu asking you how you want to see the data represented, either as a bar graph or a pie graph. Now we're moving on to the precinct crime rate. This is what I did. This was my function. So first I'm assigning T a categorical. I'm using count cats, bunch of data manipulation. Here I am assigning individual variables to each precinct from the array. Then from there I'm using a subplot to graph my graph of the crimes per precinct right here. And I'm also incorporating an output from the time of day function, which we'll go to next, and it'll show the two on the same figure. And also in mine, when you run my function, it's also going to bring up a map of the Detroit crime precincts. It's going to say precinct number 13 denotes downtown services and the precinct with the most crimes. Now moving on to the time of day. Also using categoricals, data manipulation stuff. And here's his graph right here. For yearly trend, it's pretty much the same thing. For this right here is being used. This is changing the x-axis limits and values because they're displaying in increments of a half. So you get 2011, 2011 and a half, 2012, 2012 and a half. But this gets rid of that and just displays 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. And this right here changes this bit of code right here changes the y-axis from scientific notation to standard notation. That's being used in a couple of our functions, including mine. Now going to the main function to run it, just hit run. Give it a second. Hold on. So here I'll demonstrate running the code normally as if you were a user. One of the questions we posed to ourselves was, well, what's a safe time to go into the city and where's a safe area to go? And we found our database on Blackboard through one of the links provided, but it is official City of Detroit crime data. And to run it, you simply hit the start button up here for run. Why? Oh, sorry. I need to change this. It's only a problem on my computer, but my computer cannot use read table. Other computers can for some reason, but mine just can't, so I have to import the data manually. But hit run, and you'll be prompted with this menu. It's going to ask you if you want to see the time of day, the crime rate per time of day, the yearly trend in crime, the monthly crime, and the precinct crime rate, my function. So let's go to, but in order to run the precinct crime rate, because it's using an output from another function, you're going to need to run that function first, and that function is the time of day. So let's just hit this first. Here we use the curve fit. So this is the crime rate per day right here, per time of day, sorry. And here we use curve fit. Here's the yearly crime trends. Here's the yearly crime trend. As you can see, it's on a decline, which is good. Here's the monthly crime. It's going to ask you if you want to see it in a pie graph or a bar graph. I'll demonstrate both. Here's our pie graph. The crimes are pretty evenly distributed throughout the months. And here's our bar graph. You can see that's almost evenly distributed, with February being the lowest. And here's the precinct crime rate. This is my function. So here you see it brings up a map of Detroit crime precincts. I also have denoted in the command window that number 13 denotes downtown services. So it brings up a map of the Detroit crime precincts, and will also bring up the crimes per precinct and the crime rate per time of day. So let's say, okay, we'll be in precinct number 8. That's a pretty dangerous precinct to be in, just looking at this. And let's say we're going to be in precinct number 8 at 8 o'clock at night. And this, you can see the some of the most crimes are logged during this time, so maybe it's not a good idea to be in that area at that time. And so once you're finished using the program, our code is designed to keep running. That is this while loop right here. To keep running, you can't exit out of it like this. It's going to keep coming back up until you hit exit. And that is our project.